Evening in high school track, the best area athletes looking to earn trips to lacrosse in the state track and field meet. Sectionals contested this evening in Division I at West De Pere. Boys 100 meters, seeing West De Pere's Maddox Black edging Kimberly's Alejandro Pagan Vega by just 2/100ths of a second. He won in 10.98. In the girls' metric mile, you're seeing ghosts. Kaukauna Ghosts going 1, 2, 3 to sweep the podium and send a triple threat to state. Sydney Fauski winning in 5:13, McKenna Lowe 5:15, Reese Fauski third in 5:17. In the boys 1600, De Pere's Grady Len running away with it in 4:16. And as those milers went, so went the team titles on this night. Kaukana's girls winning by 24 points. The Redbird boys beating West De Pere by 17. In Division II at Appleton North, as we first alerted you earlier, Campbell Sports' Joss Owanili recently ruled eligible, showing why so many people went to bat to see him run. He won the 100. He also won the 200-meter dash. He is fast. He is headed to state. You'll get to see him in lacrosse. Lydia Merrick would record a hat trick on the girls' side of things. She won the girls' 100 hurdles. She also won the 300 hurdles and also won the high jump. Congrats to all.